Sup, nerds, and welcome back to Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. I've been doing some thinking since the end of last episode, where we got this brick factory up and running, and looking at how quickly it really was able to churn out bricks got me thinking about how we can make construction cheaper, because that's where most of our expenses have gone, is into construction workers, things like that. Of course, waste management and water costs have been increasingly high, and we have a solution to that now with the water coming in. Don't have any good solution to deal with waste yet, and that's something that I'll have to look forward to. But this all got me thinking, and I decided it was time to do some serious planning for the next few years in game. So up on your screen right now, you should be seeing our 1 year, 3 year, and 5 year plans laid out. The 1 year plan is getting some basic crop storage going in and letting that lead into food production. What we're going to do with that is we're going to put it right here near this clothing factory. We're going to lay out the groundwork for the fabric feeding in a second clothing factory, things like that. We're just going to build the grid out as we would if we were to build all of that. And we will continue on. We'll also, off the grain storage that will feed the fabric production line, we'll have a food production facility right here. Theoretically, I could also put down the distillery, but that's so far away that I think that should be a future project because they're expensive and alcohol has not been that much of a cost for us. The other thing I really want to do is start increasing our population a bit. We need more people. They are coming in, but if we're starting to turn a profit, we can look into importing more workers. I don't mind if they're cheap workers at this point, so long as I keep it a steady stream, can maybe mix it up some. Because the cheap workers are going to get educated in the schools. We have the extra space in the schools, and it only takes 5 hours of education, so it shouldn't be too long at all to get them up and working again. Beyond that, we have our 3 year plan. So, our 3 year plan starts with construction materials self sufficiency. Looking at the bricks, I realized that if we're making these, they cost functionally nothing. I mean, it's the cost of the coal, which is something, but that's offset by the bricks we export out. So, making bricks is going to be one of the most crucial things we can do to get our economy moving forward. There are some other basic materials we can get pretty easily. We have a lot of forests here. We could throw in a logging camp and a sawmill right in this area and start producing boards of our own. We can also get gravel from these mountains up here and lumber, and with that, we can knock out two more costs that we have and send some more things to ship. I don't think the gravel sells particularly well. The boards are okay, 11.5 rubles each. The gravel, if we look at it, is about half that, 7.68 rubles per ton. I'm not 100% sure it's worth selling all those. We'll see once we have all the things built up, but just not having to import it from outside is going to be another cost that we save. If we take a look now at our economy and trade and why I want to do this, let's take a look at last year. Gravel was in about the middle of our costs. Coal was a little higher. I would like to find a coal site, but I did some basic scouting, which you can do with down here. It was in industry, I want to say fossil fuels. Here we go. So you can grab the coal mine and you can just kind of run it around and see if there's any decent source. And oh, actually, did I just find one? We might have a source of coal over here somewhere that we can at least tap for enough that we can get going. It's not huge, but that would save some money as well. It's an expensive investment though, almost 4,000 workdays of work just to get the coal mine built, and it would take 220 workers at its maximum. So it's not something I'm looking at immediately, but it's good to know there might be coal in those hills there. We'll also get a university going though in our 3 year plan, which is going to allow for us to do. If we look at this mini map here, there is options to bring up like coal, iron, oil, like locations around the map where those are found. The issue is that that requires a geological mapping tech, which we only can research in a technical university, which we haven't built yet because it was sort of secondary to getting the state university up and running. Past that, our next thing in the 3-year plan is just going to be dealing with the sewage situation, getting secret police, some basics like indoor sports for the winter when people can't go out and play on the soccer field, more clothing factory, and a big vehicle repair station because our vehicles aren't showing huge signs of damage yet, but they're starting to get a little bit of wear and tear going. This one here is already at 18%, so it'll last a couple more years, but that's why it's in the 3-year plan. So we have that ready to go. And then 5-year plan, I want us to have full size offices, not just these free construction distribution technical offices. Some of those I might be pulling in earlier. We'll probably block out this area right over here and make this sort of the construction hub for the rest of the nation going out and put in a ton of distribution offices, full construction offices, things like that in there so we don't have to deal with all this and we can shrink this down and have more efficient work going with those. That's the plan. Let's get to it. First things first, we are going to lay out the pattern for what I want to do with this block of crop management functionally. So we're going to go ahead and grab, where is it hiding? That's right, it's over here. Going to go ahead and grab Fabric Factory. We will want to put that where it can connect to this, but it won't be interfering with this clothing. So I'm going to delete this road here and we're going to get everything laid out. Okay, so we have everything built out here. We have the food factory is connecting to this grain storage, which is also going to feed this fabric factory, which is going to feed this clothing factory directly, and this warehouse to feed this clothing factory. And there is a new connection between this new factory and the warehouse as well. Plus, we have all the roads laid out. We have electricity, I believe I did do. Yes, we have electrical substation here that's connected back to the big switch we made down here using underground wires. We have a water substation and sewage tank, and here is just our layout of all the connections. Built out a couple more switches to keep the sewage flowing to make sure we didn't back up on water at all, and just make sure that we always have options to expand out further if we need to. Trying to be a little more proactive about putting more switches down. It's a pretty big project we're looking at here, but what will save us is that we don't need to do it all right away. We're going to suspend construction of the fabric factory, of the second clothing factory. We'll let the roads get built, let all the infrastructure get built, get all that connection going. What I really want those is grain storage and the food factory. That way we can feed our own people for just the cost of crops and we can sell food back out to the world as a whole. So, with all that done, let's go ahead and start the infrastructure build. Everything should be starting to get built. It will be pretty expensive, but it is the next big step in getting our economy rolling. In terms of workers, we have a number of children in the 16 to 21 year age range, 100 of them. They'll be growing up soon and going to work. I'm also keeping an eye on things. If it feels like we're running into shortages, we will get those handled. Right now, I'm not building out the bus stop for this area yet. There will be one to cover some of these new spots. I'll probably Actually, I should just do that right now. As I say that, I'm realizing it's a bad idea to not just do that right now. I'm remembering how that last one went. So, out goes this. Now, am I able to fit it right here? This is gonna need a lot of workers. I think, let's see, the clothing factory, the second clothing factory is going to be 80. And if I take a look at these other factories as they expand out, fabric factories, another 100. Grain storage is not going to need any, but the food factory is going to need quite a few. I want to say this is 100, 170. So 270, 350 total just in these three buildings. And remember, we need to triple those numbers. So we basically need another thousand actual workers at this point, not kids, actual workers just to feed this. That's why this is all sort of in the 3-year plan because we need to get our population up. But in order to do that, we need to start making some food, and this will be sort of the baseline of which everything else will build off of. Anyway, 350 workers here means I should just put in a bus stop that can handle that many. I think it's going to have to be a straight up bus platform, actually. Could do a tram stop, but we're not at a point where we can do that. So yeah, I'm going to put in a true bus platform that can handle 400 workers. We will put it. How do we do this? I think we'll put it right here and just connect it up over there with the footpaths. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And then we can connect things over here. All right. Didn't need to remove that road, but I'm glad I did anyway, and I'm glad I got started on this. Rebuild out this gravel road right here, reconnect it, connect that there, start that infrastructure. All right, so that will be our bus stop to get all this handled. I think that with footpaths, it shouldn't have any issue getting over there too. We'll make it work. We will make it work. Putting the game on actual play now, so all of this planning work can be activated. Last thing I'm doing is bringing in a distribution office to be able to handle our needs over here instead of having them be shipped from the big side. So this is going to take, I'm going to get whatever the biggest covered vehicle I can get is, which I think is maybe this one, the T138. So total capacity covered. Yeah, it's the SKD 706. So we'll get two of those and one open. The open will handle the bricks, and the covered will handle the crops and the fabric and the clothes and all that. And we're going to start managing those out of this side instead of this over here. Should just cut back on some of the back and forth, or it will be in supplement to it first. This will is our last free distribution office, so if we're going to expand these out any further, we really need to get the technical research going, which again, that's part of why that's in our 3-year plan. Those are the last buildings I can buy for a while. As our money continues to fall, I want to be very careful about those. We are starting to sell water. The water tank is still staying relatively full. I'm keeping an eye on it. If I have to slow down the export of water, I will. But our pumping station has, our treatment plant has been working pretty well. We do need to prioritize it though. So I'm going to take this bus stop and I'm going to start picking a few places where people should be going to work. So first, they need to go here. Then they need to go to the heating station, and only then can they go off and do whatever. That should prioritize those two before people do any other jobs, such as the massive amount of construction we're doing right nearby. That's probably pulling people away. The tank drained out, so I'm going to go ahead and just tell the water trucks to chill it for a bit. We're seeing that any water that comes in is immediately being sent off. It's immediately being treated here. I'm wondering if it's not worth it to put a pumping station along this line to increase how much is coming in. But I'm going to just watch for alerts like those ones of no water. Well, it's still coming. I'm just going to keep an eye on that. We're probably using more water than we are pumping, frankly. which doesn't seem right. How much can a water pump do? Small water well. 70 daily, but only 5 is being processed through, 5 or 6. 1 second. What kind of pipe did I put here? Because we have no pressure on this is part of the issue, and I'm wondering if a pump would add the pressure that we need to keep the water flowing. We look at this pump right here. It is operating at a much higher pressure, 2.7 barometers worth versus 0.23. So, yeah, pressure is the issue. That means having to cut the water flow off temporarily to fix it, but I thought we were done with this. We'll get the pumping station built. I'm going to resume the water line. I had just flipped it and stopped it, but we're just not getting any water out to people, and that is a huge issue. Yeah, it's just getting real bad. All right. Back on it goes. Fix that problem again. Sorry, everyone. On the other hand, our brick production is going really well, and we have this set up now, so can make sure that this distribution office is should not be grabbing from the brick factory. It should be grabbing now from this road cargo station, and it should load up bricks till there's 0% in storage. Let's see what happens. Oh, it needs power? Alright. Well, the water issues have been resolved at least. If nothing else, as well is getting things temporarily a little better. We will eventually get this water pumping station going. It's on the list. Having some issues with gas distribution and so on. I would really like just a massive distribution center. When we are able to get some research into a technical office, that's probably going to be a priority because we just had a huge flood of vehicles searching desperately for places to fuel up, as we can see right there. The cistern is working. It's just not working quickly enough for the amount of vehicles we have. Our money is getting low. Low enough that once this is done, we're going to stop construction on everything for a bit. We just need to get all of these areas built out. And I really just cannot afford anything else. Hopefully we're at the point where we're actually making money. But I find that a little hard to see when everything is driving back and forth between the two gas stations desperately trying to be fueled. Oh, the timing couldn't be worse. We have another earthquake just as our money is running out. Alright, is anything lighting on fire? We had a few things, but looks like they're pretty much extinguished already? Huh. Well, alright, I'm a lot less concerned now. This one has some reconstruction work to be done, but it's nothing too terrible, it's looking like. Nice. We're still having issues getting enough fuel to keep everything going. Please don't tell me that's my cistern that ran out of fuel. No, it's a sewage tank. We're having issues with the fuel supplies. We're having issues with... Why aren't you going? Vehicle needs to refuel. That's... I think legitimately the only thing I can do at this point is to bring in another cistern from the west just to bring in more fuel. So that's what I'm going to do. We're so low on money. I need to find a solution. Our vehicles aren't moving because of this, and this is becoming more and more and more of a problem. We had to do some fiddling, and we did end up having to spend some rubles, but we got a vehicle that was able to bring some fuel in, and We can see right there that the demand is high. Please let the ones that need to be going to be able to get me more fuel get fueled first. Thank you, everyone. Our economy is not doing well. People are starving because we just haven't had the fuel to keep everything running. Hopefully, this resolves pretty quickly. I also went ahead and made a second gas station up here, which I'm going to keep going as well. Just we're getting this backlog, obviously, and that's something of an issue. We are having some serious fuel issues. I want to get that resolved right away, so we're going to go ahead and take this distribution office right here and also add it into this gas line, and we will get a couple new cisterns here. We have some pretty efficient new cisterns. This one has a 5 gallon tank. This one has a 7. Ooh, 7 would be nice. Fewer trips. An 11 gallon tank. We'll get one of these. This one should be able to do massive restocks. It's expensive, but honestly, I'm at the point where we know we're going to need to take a loan. So let's take that loan right now before things get even worse. We'll just let's go with 100,000 for now. We'll keep it we'll keep it pretty short. It needs to be like a 3-year loan, if I'm honest. Hopefully we can recover from that or from this. But 100,000 rubles over 3 years, I think we'll get the economy turned around by then. We're at the point where what we really need is more workers to be able to work in these buildings. And I should frankly stop construction, but I don't want to. I want to get this all laid out, get everything ready to go. We're getting traffic jam warnings because of the fuel issues, of course, but oop, load fuel here. Don't unload it. And unload fuel. Sorry. Unload fuel here. Load fuel here. Turn that off. And we'll just move this cistern over to rehome into there. So we just have one distribution office focused on gas. We'll also add in the other buildings that need fuel, which are our forklifts. This fuel store or this gas station out here. Is there anything else that needs fuel? Let's look at it before I make any assumptions. Gas station's handled. Forklift garage is handled. Gas station's handled. Yeah, I think that's it. All right. Oh, and then one needs chemicals, which I think are also no, they're not delivered by these. So that should solve that issue. We can see here why I was looking for a large customs house. Unfortunately, it doesn't seem to be an option at this point. I would like to, I think, get a large customs house established in the future. I don't know if I can build those on my own. Might be in state infrastructure? No? Probably something under research or something that allows this to happen. I think it would be really good to be able to just expand out our connections to the rest of the Soviet world. Our money is still draining, it's draining slower. I definitely noticed that. We're fully supplying our own bricks now, which is significantly reducing some costs. We are almost done with the 2 buildings we want to build and all this infrastructure. And once all that is done, I am going to have to do the thing that is hardest for me and just not touch anything for a bit. Just let the economy grow. I want to touch it, but the only thing I might do is bring in some more citizens if it looks like that will be useful. But all I want is our bus stop built, our grain storage, and our food factory. That's it. Then we need people more than anything. We don't have a full shift in the clothing factory or the brick factory. I don't even need to be building this right now until those are fully stocked because those are our money makers. But I cannot help myself from continuing to always try to expand. So I'm going to have to sit here and be good and let things happen naturally. I'm going to go ahead and suspend the construction of the food factory. It's really not needed right now. Going to keep going with some of this other infrastructure, the power stations and so on. But we're trying to save money and this needing, 40 tons of steel. That's a little much at the moment. Nearly have this substation here built, and when that's done, we're going to be able to get bricks sent out more quickly and make more money that way. We also are getting this garbage dump here. Clothing has been at a standstill because, well, the internal garbage stand is completely full, and when that's the case, nothing's getting cleared out. So I need to make sure that we have technical stations that are able to get garbage delivered from there. And now I have the vehicles somewhere around. I just don't know if we actually have anything that's taking care of large trash. This one? This one. But it needs to be able to get to a large container platform. So it's going down there. Our dumps our dump is also full. That's also part of the issue, isn't it? Okay. This is going to be our last free dump. I'll put it here for now. And then we're going to, I guess if we have to build another, we're going to have to make one. And in the meantime, we just go ahead and assign mixed waste, specify goes right there. This one, same thing. Mixed waste, specify goes right there. And rule on this that it only takes mixed waste. Really need to get recycling facilities, things like that set up, but I'm trying to save the money and just hold these for now. There we go. Garbage truck came, picked up some of the garbage, and we're getting more clothes made again. It's the small things that'll get you in this game. It really is. We are almost completely out of money again. I've suspended all but this construction. This is the last bit of necessary construction, in my opinion. This one should get us this cargo station up and running, which will let us ship out bricks more steadily. We have backstock of fabric and clothes and food and everything. We should be okay. It's just a matter now of holding on our spending just for a little bit longer in order to keep everything flowing. But this should be the point where money starts going up. There we go. We've hit zero again. Don't love it. But as soon as we get these components here, which should be relatively soon, I think. Electricity problem. Oh, we're not able to afford electricity from elsewhere. Okay. We need to take one more small loan. Then I'm going to make it half the value, 50,000, and we're just going to do this one for 2 years. Borrow some more money. Just enough to keep the lights on, keep everything running. Forgot we were importing electricity on top of everything else. This should be our last major expense for a while. All right. This is powered now, and I want to see how quickly we gather bricks now that it is powered. Is it significantly faster or not? Oh yeah, it seems to be. Good. Because the faster we can get bricks onto here, the faster we can empty this out. We also aren't doing much construction at the moment, so I'm going to move that vehicle over there, and we're going to reclaim one of these. Actually, why don't I just Why don't I just assign this office also to here and to here in order to load and unload bricks? Yeah, I think that works. It's already handling one of these open storages. We'll make sure it's handling this one and making sure it has like 20% bricks. And that should do it. Money is still ticking down, and I don't like seeing that. We are making clothes, we're making bricks, we just need more people. Their health and happiness is okay. It's literally just employment rates. We're getting them educated, getting them more efficient. We're making clothes. We just need more workers. And we need to make sure that they're not topping off in any kind of way of the production. So it's coming. I think selling off all these bricks will do wonders for the economy. Not that they're worth an incredible amount, but we're getting decent money from them. More than the fuel costs at the very least. I'm just hoping I did enough quickly enough to stem this. Let's look at last month. Last month was a few materials and costs. What are we making in exports? Not much. In fact, we're spending more in exports than we're gaining still. But I'm starting to see the number tick up, so I think things are getting better. Uh, if nothing else, in fact, I think I should. I think we just suspend operation of the party headquarters for a bit, basically. These students do need to learn, and when they are trained, they are better. I might spend the money on starting to filter in some third world workers. We are filling it in these flats, though. That is nice to see. Yeah, I think I'm going to invite 20 immigrants from the third world. They'll go to class, they'll learn, and they'll go teach after that. I'm going to keep the economic investments very small, just try to stay stably in this 30,000 to 40,000 range. If I go above 40,000, that's my cue. I can bring in more workers. The really terrifying thing is if I run out of living space. But by that point, we should have a much stronger economy just from people going out and working. As winter approaches, I'm noticing that it feels like our economy has finally stabilized right here in this 10 to 20,000 ruble range, and that's even with me going ahead and finishing the work here on the pump. This water pumping station is pretty desperately needed because I need to be taking water out of the equation. I know we've been talking about this for a couple episodes now, but if we look at the import of resources, water is still one of the most significant if we go into last month, and it's the easiest to solve at this point. Fabric and coal are they do not count because those get turned into money through our export, which is finally looking positive, by the way. So we need to get water solved. When it's solved, hopefully we are able to just get that stabilized. That will be one cost, and as our money ticks up, I've decided the next big investment has to be building a sewage discharge in Bratislava. We have our pump. It's time to cut the water supply very briefly. Should just have to be this section right here. Now we take A big water pump. We connect all this back up. You see no reason why this shouldn't work, but hopefully I didn't do anything wrong. In the meantime, we're having to import all our water. We do have a full water tank. I'm hoping we get this demolition done before we have to worry about that tank. If I have to, I will take another loan of 10,000 rubles just to make sure we make it through this. Went ahead and did another 50,000. I don't like these as another drain on the economy, but when they're being invested into things that will make the economy stronger, that's the point of a loan. You take a loan so that you can do something that makes more money off of it. And I'm not just borrowing to consume, I'm trying to be very tactful or tactical in what I am spending these rubles on. I still don't like it. Still don't like the hits we're taking to our money every month because of this, but I think we'll pull through. Winter's falling, and we have another epidemic. Right now, I'm really just trying to make sure that we can get this pump plugged in. We're back to importing all of our water, which I don't love. It should only be another trip or two before we're able to get the pipes built to connect this up. Hoping it does quite a bit of pressure with this pumping. What really would have thought this well would be doing so much better for us, but it's doing the best it can with what it's got, I guess. We're in 1964 now. It's been a rough winter. We've lost some people due to, well, frankly, just lack of water. But if you notice, water is filling up very quickly now, even though we have nothing in the loading and unloading station. That's because our pump finally finished. If we take a look at this, the water output is at about 2.6 bars of pressure. That's good enough for me. We are keeping as much flow going as we can. This station is filling up and it is exporting water as quickly as possible. I think that means we can go ahead and flip this line around. We're not even seeing anything being dropped off here, so everything should be fine. There is one heck of a traffic jam here at this station. That's, well, I mean, there's a lot going on right here. I think what we need to do now is flip this line. It should solve this traffic jam. Let's unload at Skalica Customs House and load at the water unloading station. We flip the line around, we should start making money off of water instead of selling it. Let's what's going on here? I'm not sure. Going to take these two and send them home though. Not sure what's going on here, why this is staying stuck. Are things just so broken that I just need to sell this vehicle? Oh, it has negative water somehow. Yeah, we're just going to sell this vehicle. Okay. Not ideal, but at least things get moving again. And since we have the water station now working to be selling water, I expect to see our income going up. All right. Small bug aside, we're going to go ahead and call this episode here. It's been a very rough year here in 1964, 1963, but we're in 1964 now. Things are looking up. Let's watch this vehicle. Oh, it's going to get gas first, but I imagine it's going to start getting and selling some water. With the tank full, that should cause us no issues. It's wonderful to see a thing that used to be a penalty turn into profit. Now, we just have to do the same thing for sewage next episode. So thank you everyone for watching. We'll recover from here. We did have to take one more loan. It's been a rough year, and we are frankly paying way too much in rubles for our loan now. But I think economically we can start recovering. We're making money off of exports. Our import just took a big recovery here, and water's no longer going to be a thing costing us money. Like if we look at last month, it was 4,500 cost, and this month already it is what? Oh, this year we're already making 118 profit. Not a ton. Once we solve wastewater, that will be another big boon there. We're getting bricks sold. We're getting clothes sold. Everything will be okay. Just need to recover our population after a few people decided that not having water was for some reason a reason to not live on. It was a bad winter. We will fuddle through this. We will move on. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your day.